right, it's getting set up here. So appreciate y'all showing up. Going to do a live reconditioning, refurbishing of a dryer. You put that in the credits or something. It's at 4:20. I did not put 4 o'clock on here. Put 12:30. Having trouble loading video. Oh. Everybody see me, hear me fine? Give me like a thumbs up if you hear me and see me fine. There will be a lot of background noise. So, hey, I'm live. You don't want the kids. Hey, I'm live. I'm live. You can talk though, it's fine, but I'll just say. Okay. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna set up. Taking Sebastian with you or no? No. Yes, but you have to put like your swim trunks on. All right, so this video is gonna be a lot of background noise. So the beauty of flipping is that you get to work from home. And being that it's Saturday, we've got one playing basketball, another about to run a sprinkler, wife leaving to run errands with her friends. What's up, Kevin? How you doing, man? YouTube Live. Go say hi. I can see you have a hat on and sunglasses in the sun like that. Is Antonio? You might recognize him from some of the videos he's been in. One of the techs here at ATeam Appliance. All right, so I'm gonna recondition a Whirlpool dryer. This dryer I got from a trade-in. It was a from a machine that I sold. That's unnecessary noise. From a machine that I sold. So the machine I sold, I actually sold to a school. And so I'm gonna get into. Someone asked me to talk in more detail about my do not sell list. People like businesses that I refuse to sell to. I refuse to sell to. So, and there's reasons, right? It is not. It's reasons from experience, not from just opinion. So I'll get into that too. But I'm gonna go ahead now and get the dryer and bring it in here to the shop. And I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm assuming it stopped heating, I guess, because when I got there, it had wet clothes in it. I don't know. I don't really care. Like it's probably some of the mystery. Sometimes I do ask questions. This time, if I remember to ask, I do. If I don't, I don't really worry about it because it's nice starting from scratch and actually figuring out what's going on. So let's wait for a few more people to jump in. I'm gonna go grab it. If you wonder what this is a I donate plasma, so that's what that's from. Plasma donor. So I did that this morning. I was actually planning on coming in a little earlier. My neighbors driving by looking. It's another way to get business, man. Your neighbors drive by, be looking. Hey, you sell dryers, sell washers? Do you fix them? And then people are generally nosy. They see open garage. Oh, what's in there? So, yep. So we got any texts in here? Any texts? Any texts? Customers? Okay, got alerts here from Google. Any technicians? Any customers? Not customers. Do-it-yourselfers looking for tips. Mic check, mic check. Yeah, there. See, a bunch of people logged in. This is a screw. Just learn the business. Awesome. The business. Just learn the business. So Kev, we starting off at, man? You starting off on repairs, or you starting off with resale, like flipping? Okay, so Adam asked. Let me see everybody's questions. Adam asked, for someone with little experience, should I flip before I run service calls with a warranty company? That is correct. Yes, you should flip before doing warranty work. For number one, that you'll be doing an injustice to customers. Kind of put yourself in the issues. You want somebody who don't know what they're doing coming in, or somebody trying to figure it out. And that's a stressful way of starting too. So, like me, I started off flipping because basically I was like, hey, I'm just going to practice on my own machines, trial and error that way. And then then we started doing service calls. Yeah, I did have YouTube as a backup. And also, if I figure if it was something I didn't know in my mind, I said, okay, my backup was going to be, if it's something I don't know, then I'm going to just say, hey, I'm familiar with this machine. You might call somebody else. They may be pissed, but you don't charge them anything. That was Sebastian, by the way, another one of my texts you've seen in a lot of my videos. So yeah, definitely practice on your own machines, but you still can make money that way, right? You practice on your own machines by fixing them, taking them apart, learning how they work, and then you sell them. And then if for some reason something goes bad with the one you sold, you can always go and correct it, right? You can go fix it for the customer, or you can change it out for another one until you figure out what you did wrong. So you want to leave yourself open to trial and error, but without giving yourself a bad name, because the problem is, man, reviews last forever. So people, even if you're new, people put on there a bad experience, and 10 years later, you still got good experience. That one review still may be on there. It may be watered down by many other good reviews, but still. Okay, I've taken appliance course as well. Okay, cool. For repairs. I do not do warranty calls, just CODs. I tried warranties, just wasn't my cup of tea. It's good if you're trying to scale your business to keep your guys busy, because don't expect to make a lot of money from it, but to keep your guys paid and busy, and then you make the money off your own, your COD work that you may pass to them. But it's for me, it's I mean, some people make a living off it, but it's tough, and I felt like it could possibly put me in a position to compromise my morals. Now, what I say when I mean that is, when I say by that is, what I mean when I say that is that people will, and Sebastian playing the sprinklers, beauty from working at home, flipping appliances. Um, so what people do is the warranty company doesn't pay you much, right? And you find out real fast when the actual problem is something the warranty company won't cover, you get paid more, right? So let's say for a dryer, air ducts might be clogged. Warranty company won't cover that, but I'll clean your air ducts out for you. This is how much it'll cost, and you get like 3 times more than the warranty would have paid you if it was a regular, like you replaced a fuse or something. Um, so you can find yourself thinking about it. And a lot of people do this as for a business, do this for lips as a way of life. By no matter what the problem is, there are guys out there that will say, "Oh, the warranty don't cover that, but I'll still fix it for this amount of money." And people feel hostage because hey, you're there, and they want the problem fixed. So yeah. So at the end of the day, I feel you can't make money with warranty companies unless a lot of warranties are non-warranty issues. So, and then you have problems with them paying you, and so you gotta find a good one. But sometimes you have problems with them paying, or you gotta haggle with them, or if they'll send you more business if you're cheap, So it's rough. So, hey guys, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Appreciate you for dropping in. Our zoo in zoo. If I said that right. What up? I don't know what that means. No problem, Mike. That's the only way I know how to be is honest, man. It's too much work to lie. It's too much work, and I got a bad memory, so I don't have the ability. So, I like the skills to lie. Huh? Okay. So yeah, it's rough. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this. Feel free to post any more questions. I'm gonna grab the dryer off the back of my truck. And we're gonna get her done. So I got a dryer, I got a washer. It's making some weird noise. I gotta figure out why. I got a front loader I need to patch together. So I'm gonna be on here for a while. I do not do refrigerators or seal system work. I explored it, but you get to a point where low hanging fruit. Sometimes that's a bad saying when people say, "Oh, it's low hanging fruit," but washer and dryer is literally low hanging fruit, and there's so much of it. It's like, well, why am I climb higher? Even though like refrigerators and stuff does give you, you can charge a lot more. So put it this way: if I did refrigerators, I would just do refrigerators, because it's so busy. Oh, being a nosy neighbor, I'm so busy. It's like I had to pick one. And then seal systems require so much equipment, which I do have the equipment. It's brand new. I got equipment. I've got I got gauges. I got the little suction thing. I got everything. It's brand new. Don't even use them. Haven't used them. I know some guys that do refrigerators that don't do seal systems, which I think is odd. But I guess you refer that work out, or a lot of times people probably don't want to pay. I can imagine someone's the cost of a new refrigerator. But yeah, washers and dryers just keep me so busy. They're easy to transport for flipping. Keep a lot of the parts, compared to fridges. Fridges, I would reckon. I do have a fridge right here, by the way, but this was given to me, so I was like, hey, free money. Fridges require number one I hate about flipping fridges is cleaning, because people will give you you can get them all day. Everybody wants to get rid of a fridge. But sometimes they've been sitting, even they sit more than a week off, there's mold inside, the racks get rusty. So it requires so much to refurbish on top of fixing it. And then you got to worry about the stress of you deliver it and something stops working after a week or next day, whatever. People's food is going bad, and that makes you look, and it's an emergency situation, you got to stop what you're doing, go fix it, and whatever. So I just found that washers and dryers are more same money, maybe a little bit more. It's probably the same amount of work. Um, you get less customers with refrigerators, but you have a higher revenue. With wash and dryers, you get more customers, lower revenue in comparison to refrigerators. So that's my extended answer. Okay, so Jacob, excellent question. He wants to know, oh, basically, what do you do if you go out on a service call and the customer said it's acting up, and you get there and it's working fine, right? So I asked a lot of questions, right? So this is when we turn into detectives, right? ATeam detective services. So basically, that's what we are. Anybody that fixes anything, mechanics, whatever, you're a detective, right? Especially if it isn't the usual suspects like a motor coupler or heating element, stuff like that. And so I'll basically interview the customer on how they use the machine. So okay, when it went bad, what was going on? Did you have a regular load in here? Did you wash a comforter? And sometimes they'll tell you like they did something unique. Like, oh, I washed my comforter and I never washed before in this machine, and then all of a sudden this happened, and that will lead you down a road. Um, Also ask them if they tainted your crime scene, right? Like if there's a water leak and they cleaned it up, you know, they decided, oh yeah, I cleaned it, and then I saw it was dirty under the machine, so I cleaned up the machine too, and completely destroyed your crime scene, right? So that will help you try to figure out, okay, because if it's squeaky clean, it makes a few drops on the floor, then you can say, oh, okay, you kind of okay, it's not a huge leak. But some people they'll leave like a wet towel, they'll leave it just like it is. Um, so basically, how I handle that, I will earn my diagnostic fee. That's the first answer, right? If you can't figure it out, earn your diagnostic fee. You don't want to show up and say, oh, the machine's working fine now. You've been here 10 minutes. You haven't taken the tool out of your box. You say, okay, well, I'll come back when it breaks, and you charge. That's not fair. Put yourself in the shoes of the customer. And so, earn your diagnostic fee, man. Tear the thing apart, move it around, look, try to be a detective, man. Sherlock Holmes, figure out what's going on with it. And if you just absolutely cannot figure out what's wrong, what I do, and this is how you run, depending on how you run your business, but how I run my business, I would say, okay, so I'll charge your diagnostic fee, but if it happens again, call me and I'll come out, and there's no diagnostic fee. It's already covered, and we'll just figure it out. And then, give them a list of instructions and say, okay, now I want you to document the load you had in, the setting the machine was on, was exactly what you did, because it might work for a little while, and then, or it might call you back the next day, but you don't, because a lot of customers think that we're going to charge a diagnostic fee every time we come out. So on a mystery repair, and you've done all you can do, and you've earned your diagnostic fee, you've been there at least like 30, 45 minutes to at least taking it apart and looking around, then charge a diagnostic fee and offer to come back for free. For me personally, to do wash and dryers is better. It's better for you're not as dependent on help. So the question was, is it better to just do washers and dryers? I personally believe it is, because you're not dependent on help. So if you sold refrigerators, you can deliver refrigerators by yourself, but you're gonna ask a lot of questions on the delivery place, right? Because if it's a townhome with some winding stairs and you got a French door refrigerator, that's gonna be tough, right? Even with an appliance dolly. Or if you got like a bad back, or if you're not strong enough to really do all that type of work, washers and dryers are usually the best way with an appliance dolly. Um, yeah. So they're easy. They're washer and dryers you see on the curb all the time, easy to fix. Everybody needs them. Your clientele expands with washers and dryers because no matter if you're a homeowner or you're renting, you need a washer and dryer. Usually, most rentals don't come with washer and dryers. Every rental that I know of comes with a refrigerator, right? Most homes come with a refrigerator. And most likely, and plus when somebody moves to a new home, they're more likely to buy a brand new refrigerator if they're going to need to buy one compared to a used, unless it's a rental. So it's just it's washers and dryers to me is just the way to go. Even like let's throw dishwashers in there, right? Dishwashers, they're a pain, right? And usually people don't want to pay because usually your installation fee is more than the dishwasher itself. Right? Because dishwashers require like the drain hose, and if because you don't know the setup, right? The power could be wired hardwired or a plug, and you got to change all that stuff over. The drain could be not set up correctly. You know, the PVC under the sink may not been half-ass put together, and you got to fix all that. So there's a lot of um, things you have to charge for just in case, you know, because you don't want to have the upcharge. I'll just say, hey, this is how much it's gonna cost, and they'll cover any headache fees, I guess. So next question: have you ever bought a washer and dryer in bulk, or do you get yours on Facebook? Okay, well I've answered this plenty of times, brother. You got to get with the channel, man. It's like on every video I talk about this. But yeah, so when I first started off, I did buy them in bulk locally. Somebody did ask me for a list on my channel about a list of washers and dryers. I mean, of places that sell them in bulk. There's not a lot that are consistent. A lot of them will be here today and going tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I think a lot of them were attached to scrap pricing. When the scrap pricing went way down, like at one point in Georgia, scrap pricing was 3 cents a pound from 11, 12 cents a pound. Huge drop. So I've seen a lot of bulk places drop off because they'll buy that stuff in bulk. They'll sell probably like 10% of stuff they get. And I think a lot of stuff they got was unsellable. And so they'll scrap it out and make money that way. But I will buy my bulk, but bulk is the most expensive because usually they want anywhere from $60 to $80 per machine, unchecked machines, by the way. But you're buying a whole bunch at one time, 20, 30, whatever, your budget is at one time. So that's a convenience factor, right? Because you can fill your showroom, you got all this, product available. The best inventory you can get is now you could jump the line, right? What I mean by that is the stuff that's there in bulk are removals from like Home Depot, Lowe's, and all that. So these contracts they hire to deliver the machines, they take out the old one, actually keep it. Whatever company they work for keeps it, and a lot of them are sold in bulk on auction sites. So people will buy those, or people have contracts to take the old ones. And so they make some money off of that too. So they charge. It's funny because Home Depot, they charge like $30-$40 to remove them, and then they get probably another $30-$40 each for selling them in bulk. So the point of that is, so you're driving down the street, you see a guy with a box truck, and he's unloading a brand new set. Those are the guys you give your business card to, and they'll sell those machines. They'll sell the machines they remove, and they're supposed to take it back to their office, but I guess they only have a certain amount. They're fine, or you swap them. I don't know what the deal is. Excuse me. But I had a guy. He kept them in his garage. Man, I go to the shop and take whatever. They charge a little bit more too. It depends on who it is. Some of those guys don't know what they're looking at, and so they'll see like a brand new sparkly Samsung washer, like ooh, and they'll charge you way more for that than they would like the old beat up Whirlpool direct drive. And I'm like, I'd rather have that Whirlpool direct drive. So that's a source, right? Most of my stuff comes from Facebook Marketplace now, and just buying and flipping. Just buying like right now, I actually went and got a matching set, but I've committed to doing this. For $50, I'm matching the Whirlpool set, and the guy said the dryer works, the washer doesn't work during the rinse cycle, which sounds like to me either the pump is clogged or the lid switch is maybe bad because it's probably not going to the spin. I don't know, or the valve could be bad, or it could be something where the cold water might have been turned off for some reason because all rinse cycles are cold. So in my head, I'm already got like, okay, this is like 3 things it could be. That's easy fixes, $50 a set. Let's do it. But you get to cherry pick when you buy them off Facebook. I mean, I've done whoever's the flavor of the month, right? Right now, Facebook is dominating, and they've been dominating for a while. Before it was like Craigslist, then there's OfferUp, 5 Mile. I mean, whatever sources people use. And I think it may change hands soon too, because even Facebook right now, I think they're going more for revenue grab, and their revenue grab is with shipping stuff. So they're now there. You see a lot of people that's selling, let's say, hats, and you pay on Facebook and ship. They're trying to be like Amazon now, and I think they get more money that way compared to me going on there and listing my I don't really pay them much. I don't pay them anything. So I know they get money from the viewership and the data, but so anyway, I see maybe their algorithm now is more like they'll top list this stuff that's being mailed out compared to stuff that's pick up, that's garage sale, quote unquote, type of merchandise. So yeah, if you look at my last live, we talked about this too, and I got a whole video too on buying off Facebook. Look, if you look under my channel, I've got a list. I got a live chat with me actually on Facebook buying and flipping washers, and me cherry picking which ones is worth buying and which ones are not. Jacob also said it's too like. Okay, so you're saying back to your original question, you're saying that Jacob is saying I guess he had two machines that work, but he said people said something's wrong with it. Yeah, those are the scariest. The flips that people say work, and you don't see nothing wrong with it, because hardly really ask customers questions because they're you've got the machines now. So until they won't finish the cycles. I would check the lid switch. I don't know what kind of machines you're talking about though, Jacob, but I would check the lid switch because sometimes that could be iffy. It can work sometimes it doesn't. Also, make sure you load test it. That could also expose some demons too in that machine. So if you're at home and you just run it empty, it might need a load in there for it to act up. So let's see, just me. If I can't find the issue at the time, I charge the fee, then tell them call me when it acts up again and free to find the issues. Yep. All right, Mike. Binge watch, baby. Binge. Then I try to put all my experience in my videos. Like every time I'm like, ooh, this would be a good video. And sometimes I miss. I'm like, oh man, I should have recorded that. But that's why it's like a lot of my videos will look so like amateur and like one-handed banded. And I'm like, hey, I just want to get the information out there. So it's not a pretty package. But I document a lot of things that I do, man, because I'm like, this is stuff that can help people. Because this business has been such a blessing to me, man. It's like, it's awesome to, you want to be able to, I'm a sharing type person. Some people got this mentality, oh, if you tell people, then it'll dry up and you lose money. Like, dude, this world is too big for me to keep, if I hold something to myself that it's going to dry up because I told other people. Life just doesn't work that. We're, we got millions of people here in this country. That'll be tough. Unless you're in like a super small town, I guess, maybe, but I don't know. Let's see. Kevin asked if I ever try to take an appliance course. I looked into it. Yes and no. So I did go to trade school, but I did go to trade school, but not. Okay, let me give you the whole story. So I went to trade school, and this is when I first started the business. And so I was trying to, I was onesie twosie in it, buying appliances here and there. I was like, man, I need appliances in bulk. Back to that getting started question. And so I found this place that sold them in bulk, but you had to buy it was a minimum you had to buy. So basically I needed I think $5,000, and I didn't have it. I was like, man, I need $5,000. But I said, man, I need $5,000 to make $5,000. And $100 repair here, and then you still got bills to pay and mouths to feed and stuff. So I had a brilliant idea. I said, man, let me go to school. And so I was gonna get a loan. I said, no, something in me is like Mark Cuban had a saying, only idiots get a loan to start a business, right? And technically, I still did got a loan, but the concept is like, the interest and all the other stuff. And so I said, man, I'm not gonna get a loan. That's it'll be. I don't know. So what I did was I said, well, this will satisfy. What I can do is take these off. Look at the dryer. I said, I'm gonna go to school and use the student loan money to buy my machines in bulk. Number one, it's a super flexible term loan, right? You can defer it, and and they negotiate with the interest is low. They'll work with you, and it won't ruin your credit, so to speak, too much. If for some reason things go belly under for you. And I said, okay, and I can go because I wanted to learn sealed systems. So I was thinking, I said, okay, I could probably do refrigerators too. Let me learn sealed systems, and the trial and error, I found out that's not the way to go for me. But so I went to trade school, and I did 2 semesters, and it was the teacher was not very good. I hate to say, I mean, especially me being an adult in there, I was like, man, these poor kids are getting ripped off. Like, because the instructor wasn't very good at what he did, and he seemed like he was on meds or something. I don't know, man. And the learning process was super, super just drawn out, man. Just drawn out, I guess, to get that dough. So yeah, that's so I did go to trade school. Some of the things I got from those 2 semesters were learning electrical. That helped because I went for HVAC. And so with HVAC, you learn a lot about little. You learn a little bit about electric, you learn a little bit about plumbing, and you learn a little bit about refrigerant and how that stuff works. So I did, I mean, it's probably the same things I could have learned on YouTube, but that's what I got from it. And I got the loan. So, which I've paid off, by the way. So yeah, so that was my way of getting a loan to fund my business. And I learned about that too, because in the past I would be like, I would work at I worked in finance, and I saw like the receptionists, like I would say young people work, getting paid minimum wage, but they'll have nice cars and the newest laptops, and they'll be in school too and not really work. I'm like, man, how they do that? And then I would figure it out around student loan time, when the semester started, or whatever. They were using their student loan funds. So imagine you did that and actually used it to try to, make some money instead of buying a car or something. So anyway, that's that. Have I ever refurbished a Speed Queen? Yes. Yes, I have. The dryers are pretty simple. They're almost set up like Frigidaires. The washers, typically the washer will have to work, to be honest with you. I've had a Speed Queen front loader, but I prefer not to have those. So this is back in the day where I would just take anything. So now I kind of cherry pick on what I refurbish. But I would prefer not to have them. Now I would love to have that from, like, if it's my actual recommendation, Speed Queen is bar none the best machine you can have. Commercial quality. They build, they dominated the laundromat business for forever. And so they know how to make durable machines and simple. So like when a customer says, oh, I want something simple, all these electronics, Speed Queen. They're very simple. They don't have all this different options. It's boom, boom, boom. But the flip, I don't, because people don't know what they are. That's the problem. The name, like the general public, I don't know what's a Speed Queen. For them, that's a lower end machine, but they just don't know. So they like GEs. I think GE, Samsungs. Those are some of the worst, I believe, especially the older ones are some of the worst to buy. But people are familiar with the names, and so they think, okay, this must be good just by association. Alrighty, so I did not bring my water, and I am parched. Oh, there it goes, right there. I'm gonna get this dryer, and we're gonna refurbish it together. The ATeam, y'all, the extended ATeam. Extended ATeam, let's go, y'all. Get your gloves on. We got this. Let's go. Y'all coming with me. I'm gonna get my water. Yeah, stay hydrated in the field, man. You should always have a water in your truck. Try to leave the house prepared, have a snack, stay hydrated, especially out in this heat. So I'm gonna put it here. Ooh, man, it's a silver computer and it's a glare. Okay, you can see. Okay, there's the dryer. Let's go. All right, a couple of things that's a no-no that I did. I was thinking like, ooh, I should have did that, but I do it because I'm experienced. But I don't recommend. Like number one, you don't pull the cord, right? So I use it as little lever. If you don't, you put a little pressure on it, but people don't know. I saw other people, some people not to do that at all, because you see dents on these things usually because people pull the cord or they strapped it across. But you don't want to pull the cord to move it up or grab the head. You don't want to grab the head to move it up either, because here is where it's connected and it's just plastic. So you're just better to grab it here. But I do it because I know not to put too much power into it. So I kind of pull the dolly in at the same time to leverage it. But some people just grab it and yank it and then, so that's why you see a lot of those tabs. Let's get her done. First thing I always do on dryers, check the lint screen. So it looks like they did change it. Sometimes things will be a complete blanket. And this acts as your screw holder. So I always put my bolts and stuff in here so they get lost. And so that second thing I check. Oh, look at that. That's the problem right there. Oh, man. I was hoping this would be a little more challenging for you guys. I didn't check this ahead of time, so I didn't know what was wrong with it. But look, the switch. I mean, it could still work. I probably should plug it in, but that's definitely broke. This is the door switch. So, but it could be broke in the on position, which it most likely is, which means it'll just run with the door open. So we'll go ahead and, so that's one thing needs to be replaced. So I'm gonna show you guys my setup here. I'm being dizzy with me grabbing this laptop. So I got this cart here. Take this in and out of my garage. Keep my things in it. Keep my paint stuff inside it. And so I got this off off a curb. Somebody's throwing it away. That thing, look, this is aluminum, man. All this is aluminum. These things are expensive. I'm just throwing it away. They use it for like movie studios, I think, and stuff like that. So You got my paint supplies in there. So my other cart is here. So this is my mobile cart. So I keep my drill bits and stuff up here. All my stuff. Got my tools and stuff down at the bottom. So this is a nice cart. A friend of mine gave me this cart. So you notice those words I use a lot. Somebody gave me or I found on the curb. Because the name of the game is to be frugal. Don't think, okay, this is a business. I'll make the money back. I'm just going to spend, man. It's about using what you got to fix what you need to fix. So, yeah. Actually, I find myself throwing more things away now. Hawaii, what up? Hawaii, Oahu. I don't know. I see it on TV. Is that down there? I love to go down there, man. Soon the airfare gets a little cheaper. What's up, pitcher man? ATeam fam. Speed Queen used to make Amanas. Yes, Amana dryers. That's what I'm going to say. Amana dryers is how it looks. Exactly. Those Speed Queens look just like Amana dryers with the element to the lower left-hand side. You go straight in. Okay, so the drill's out. And with appliance repair, I use this more than anything. My drill, my voltmeter, in particular, 1/4-inch drill bit that's magnetized. And this one is this one. This is 1/4-inch. 1/4-inch drill bit magnetized makes it so much easier. Your Phillips head bit, and every once in a while, I think this is at 5/16. Your 5/16 for your ground screw in your dryer. But usually those probably dominate those right there. Is what I use more than anything. I can't do without. So as you can see, so now we're refurbishing. We start here. Removing the air duct, right? So before you take anything apart, and sometimes these screws are rusted, so you gotta be careful, make sure it's in there, and you got a good grip on it. And you kind of want to make sure they don't fall inside, even though we're taking it off. Won't be a big of a deal right now. And they go into our lint screen for safekeeping. All right, so I'm gonna have to reposition you guys so we can all see. Hey, well, big money, moo moo. $100 donation, appreciate you. By the way, we do take donations here on the channel. So if this is helpful to you, help keep the channel going. Donate. All right, so we got bicycles all the way here. Boom, there you go. Now you can see it. So I always like to lean my machines. I guess maybe because I'm tall, I don't know. But it's more easier to work on them. And definitely a lot more convenient than kind of bend over and being on your knees and wear out your knees and stuff, 44 years old, man. Gotta try to keep it all together. Alrighty. The drill makes life so much easier. I remember when I first got started, I didn't even think about buying a drill. I did everything manually. And then I got a drill. I was like, oh my God, I've been doing it wrong all this time. I didn't know I'm different, Wow, so much easier with a drill. And as you can see, so let's take some guess on what's wrong with this thing, right? So let's look at one clue. Let's look at that. Oh, look at all this back here. What do you think may be wrong with this if it isn't just that door switch? Let's see some of your guesses. Yes, don't forget to hit the like button. Appreciate that. A lot of people in here. I'll get 8 likes. Hit that. Yeah, especially if you can't do a donation, that's cool too. But donation would be lovely. I'll keep this going. Let me get another GoPro. But if not, we could don't forget to hit the like button either way. Much appreciated. Blown thermal fuse, probably. Yeah, that's a good guess because if we had clogs there, if we had clog ups, the white thermal fuse would be the first thing to go. Hey, being dumb doesn't it doesn't matter what gender. If anything, us guys are more dumb, so y'all are smart ones. So I said, dumb female trying to, nah, you're not dumb. But hey, this is what the channel's here for, man. We all learn from each other, We all, master skill, and we teach somebody else, and they teach somebody else, and that's how a civilization thrives, by sharing. It's God's intent for us, right? So let's take our part. Let's see, any other guesses before we take this off? All right. So it's like taking off opening a package here. Let's get y'all a little closer. Y'all scoot up. So now you can see it from there. We still got the link here. I don't see any burning wires. Nothing stands out. So we gotta go to the voltmeter. Yeah, nice thing about appliance repair too is that I have a buddy of mine that clowns me because I shop at Harbor Freight a lot. They're quote unquote known for cheap tools, and you don't have to have like field piece, like a very expensive equipment, or you don't have to have the high end wrench. A good drill is nice because the problem with drills is batteries. So if the battery, a good drill will have a strong battery. But like my voltmeter, I got this. It's a Craftsman voltmeter, but I bought it for I think $10 on OfferUp. So it was quote unquote used, but it wasn't really. The guy had, I don't know. It was in a package, brand new. So, but as long as the voltmeter beeps, that's the only requirement I have. I just want to hear dude on continuity. So you want to put your reading on continuity for that setting. That's a continuity setting there. What continuity means is it's going to send a charge from this probe into the other, and if it connects, that means we have a closed circuit, right? So that means it's working. That means power is running all the way through. Now, not every configuration requires a closed circuit, right? So, like here, we're going to test this fuse. So this fuse actually connects these lines together, and it disconnects them if there's overheating. So you always test your meter. You probably can't hear the beeping, but it's beeping. So that's good. You want to test your element. And I got a million videos on this, so if y'all need like close-ups or something like that, I got a million videos that's way more detailed. So we're gonna start here at the top of this fuse and this lead. And I don't hear anything. Oh, now I do. Okay, something got to rub it a little bit to hear anything. Yeah, we still live. What are you wearing, man? It's kids, man. They change the pajamas in the middle of the day. What are you doing? Okay. So you have continuity, but you also want to check to see if this is grounding out. So you put one probe on a lead and touch metal. So no continuity, which is good because you don't want that to be, that means it's grounded. Now let's go to the thermal fuse that we were guessing. No, it's fine. All right, so we do have a challenge on our hands here. All right. Well, if that's that door switch, I guess. That's fine too. So next we'll do is next what we will do is take off the air vent here and see how clogged up that is. So if that's all clogged up, it could have been working, but it might just took a long time to dry. So anytime you hear that from a customer, oh, it takes 3 or 4 hours to dry, that means that the moist air is not able to escape the dryer. Either this is clogged, the lint trap is clogged, the vent going outside into the house is clogged. Well, if it's producing heat, the dryer is doing its job. It just can't. The moist air just isn't escaping. Yeah, the vent hose could have been clogged too. Yep, Joe, it's gonna be available off. Yeah, it's gonna be saved, so you guys reference this video. It's gonna be super long, but I think what we on now? The timer at? Oh, we're almost at an hour right now, so we're just getting started. All right. Okay, it's not too bad. It's not clogged. It's dirty, but it's not clogged. So it needs to be cleaned up. It should still work though with that. All right, so now what do you do, right? Well, first I probably should have plugged it in. I'm sure that door switch would have been the only issue, but just in case it's not, let's assume the door switch is working. And you got everything checked out, right? This is continuity. And this fuse, now it's got different names. Like some people say high limit, thermal, whatever. So this fuse I'm pointing to, or what name you want to give it. This is a insurance policy because this fuse, I call it temperature regulator because what it does is regulate the temperature of the heating element. This is the heating element. So once it gets to a certain temperature, this will click, disconnect power to the heating element, and then the heating element turns off. And then once it cools off to a certain temperature, it clicks back on, allowing power to the heating element to reactivate. So if this fuse malfunctions and stays like in on position, this heating element will overheat. And this is a high limit because it has a higher resistance to heat. But once it hits a higher resistance than this fuse does, this will trigger and will shut down everything so it won't overheat, so it won't catch fire. Because this will just go. So that's why you never want to bypass this. I see a lot of bypassing that. You don't want to do that. So this is triggered. This is usually triggered because this is either grounding out, overheating, or even sometimes if that lint trap is blocking and keeping all the heat inside the drum, sometimes that'll trigger it too. And then this is your another thermal fuse. This fuse is connected to the air duct. So anytime this is overheated, it gets too hot, this will shut down the whole dryer altogether. It won't even turn on. So this one will just turn off the heating element. This one will shut down the whole dryer. All right. Any questions? Feel free to ask. Thermal fuse. I don't have a Patreon. I need to learn more about it. I think that would be the next level for me. I do need a Patreon, so I think that you can do like people go in there and ask questions. I assume. I don't know anybody that has one, so I don't know. They ask some questions. So if you got some information, man, please let me know. Well, Patreons. Bring the popcorn, Joe. All right. So, my point of all that is, so if you checked everything, you don't have to check next. The timer. There are particular timers. We're gonna see what type of timer this is. Hold on. I got an example. I think I got about 2 videos on this. If that timer looks like this, without this magnet attached, okay, looks like this. Keep this in your mental toolbox, your mental library more than anything. Anytime you see this timer, they're very prone to causing a dryer not to heat. They're very poorly built because, and I got like 2 videos on this. Use my screwdriver to point. So you'll see these 4, there's a group of 4 here, right? You put your voltmeter here and any of these 2 here, and you should have continuity. If you do not, then inside there, the contacts aren't allowing electricity to flow through. And usually it's because of electrical arc. So it creates carbon. And so when those 2, you turn the dial and those 2 connect and there's power going through them, is a small spark. And that spark creates just a little bit of sediment and carbon, and it builds up, and then it creates a barrier. So when they do touch, the electricity cannot pass through. So typically you take a little bit of sandpaper and you clean it. And I got a video on that on my channel. You should see the actual thumbnail should show this. So this is very common for that. And also sometimes there's the plastic pieces in there get broke too. And OnlyFans, see, I don't know about that stuff, man. But the Patreon, he said the Patreon. What about an OnlyFans? I don't know what that is. Yeah, the infamous timer, man. So some people I don't replace these. I fix them because the replacing them, I think the part is like $120 maybe. And dude, you got some sandpaper in your truck. You take this thing apart, sand out the contacts, put it back. And you can still charge about $150, $200 compared to if your part is $120, then you got to charge a customer maybe $120 for labor. So you're looking, so $240. So you can actually save money. Even if you charge $200, and it works just as good as a new one, probably better because a new one they haven't fixed the issue. New one still looks just like this. So it's like lid switches, man. Like lid switches, they still break. Like there's no. They haven't fixed them yet. So you're replacing it with the same faulty part. You might as well fix it and same day repair, and you're on your way. So let's see what this timer looks like. Ah, look at that. Now, I've never taken this thing apart. And look at here. Looky there. Yep. The infamous timer. There, she fixed it, appliance repair. She fixed it. So she fixed it, appliance repair. Are you a female appliance repair technician? Would love to know. I know a female appliance repair technician I met at the parts store one time, and had an interesting conversation about like being a female in this business. You know, so that is definitely a very interesting topic and the things you have to go through. So this is a Whirlpool dryer, but this is a Estate series, a Whirlpool. All right, so I just recently did a video, the same video, but we'll go through it again. And I'll untilt it so y'all can see it better. Underneath it. Hold on. All right, so first things first. This thing is kind of stubborn to take off. This plug is kind of stubborn to take off. I don't know how I can zoom. I don't think I can. Okay, cool. She fixed it. Awesome. So the woman I talked to that does appliance repairs, one of the hardest issues she was running into was like she said it was times she showed the people a house and they wouldn't let her in and they saw she was a girl. I was like, no way. Like gender doesn't matter, you know, in knowledge. You're all willing to learn, able to learn. But you got any interesting issues like that ever happen to you? This thing has a bobby pin in it. Don't y'all forget to visit that super chat. $5-10 donations, very much appreciated. And also hit that like button. Like. Let YouTube know that this is a helpful chat. So what we're gonna do is put this on a heat setting, which it already is. All right. So make sure that's on a heat setting to test it. And we're gonna test it exactly the way I just explained. Now we got continuity. All right. So this timer's good. This timer's good. So at this point, it got to be just the door switch. Yeah, I haven't spent the drum yet, so let me make sure the belt's on. But at this point, it's got to be just the door switch then. And we've got like some debris here, so I'm gonna clean this up. Bobby pin. So you can like take a vacuum cleaner and detail that thing if you want. Or just take your hand and clean it out, you know? As long as you get the bulky stuff out, a lot of that little loose stuff will blow out once you turn it on. And so with the air duct, what I like to do is take a screwdriver, scrape everything loose, make sure there's no lint rolled up in here. So be able to see daylight. And sometimes they don't clean our lint trap, it gets so thick and they pull the lint trap out, it'll roll up inside of here. That, and then right this part right here, you like to stick, screwdriver it. I usually wear a mask. I gotta put my mask on. But you want to wear a mask, especially with the. I'm sure you guys got extra masks laying around, especially these. You know where you're at, I guess. With the restrictions being lifted, some people still don't wear their masks. I still do, just for make my customer comfortable. You know, I have been vaccinated, but you know they don't know that. You know, Adam, appreciate you, man. You're part of the ATeam. Jermaine, definitely part of the ATeam. Actually, Jermaine's donation of $100 that boosts you up to vice president of the. It's a cheap club to get in, man. They can move up. So let's plug you back in. So you always want to make sure you go back and plug stuff back in, because what'll happen is at this point we know it's probably the lid switch. Yeah, it fell on me. So I usually don't prop it that way. I did it for demonstration purposes. Now that'd be embarrassing that happened at a customer house. Woo. So as I was saying, your plugs, unplug something, test it, plug it back in right away, because you hate to do all this troubleshooting. Like now, we're like, okay, it's probably just a door switch. Change the door switch, and you find out it still won't turn on, and then you're like scratching your head. But kind of find out it's something that you unplugged and then plug back in, and you find that out later on. Appreciate you guys' donations, man. It means a lot to me. Helps keep the channel going. Helps me buy newer equipment. Helps me buy parts. You know, helps me. You know, this shows my small token of appreciation for what I do. I appreciate that. Take a hydration break, guys. If you're out in the field working, the good news is we're not like the HVAC guys. Most of our work is inside, which is awesome. Like I was feeling bad, man. I saw one guy. I went to deliver a oven, and he was a plumber, and he had to crawl in the crawl space. So he had all this equipment on, covering him up, man, crawling under this old house. I was like, man, I'm glad I do appliances, you know. And I was in and out. I probably got paid the same amount he's getting paid to do what he's doing. So, all right, let's put it back together, and we're gonna change the door switch. Test the drum to make sure it's the belt's on, and we're gonna plug her in. And so, yeah, now I'm kind of going an extra mile because we're videoing it. I'll probably plug it in so it's the door switch. But with refurbishing, you still do all this. The worst thing you can do, especially because you're warranting your work. So the worst thing you can do is see one part that's broke, fix it, like, oh, it's all good now. You know, yeah, Jermaine, Vice President, hashtag. That's right. VP ATeam Appliance, baby. Oh, I got another question here. Florida let's say, for example, a customer is looking to replace his, but the difference is that he has a gas dryer. Um, so are they replacing? So Florida, are they trying to replace the gas dryer for an electric dryer, or are they looking to replace the gas dryer for another gas dryer? So if they're looking to replace, I'm taking a minute to answer this question in very detail. So if they're looking to replace the dryer, they say, hey, I got a gas dryer and replace with electric. Well, people don't know anything, right? They don't know. You get to have the right setup for that. And some people just have like a small pipe sticking out of the wall, but it's sealed, and that don't have the setup to change it over. So first thing I do is I say, hey, send me a picture of your wall behind your dryer, with especially if there's a pipe sticking out. Send me a picture, because if it's a pipe, but then it has a gas line already hooked up, and all you gotta do is just screw it in, then well, yeah, that's for gas. But for electric, excuse me, if you're converting over to electric, you want to make sure they have that 240 line. Replace gas dryer for another gas dryer. Oh, okay. So, well, let me finish answering the question anyway. So, if you have a electric dryer that you want to replace with a gas, always make sure the customer is seeing a picture of the outlet. I say send you a picture because explaining doesn't work. You can be like, oh, make sure it's got 4 prongs in it. It's a big 4 prong. All right, then no, they'll look at the little regular 120 and they'll count the holes, and it can be a waste of a trip for you. So pictures of nowadays everybody got smartphones, so pictures are the best thing. But swapping a gas dryer for a gas dryer, you want to charge a little more for delivery. Usually when I sell mine, I like in Georgia, mostly everything's electric, so gas dryers are actually very hard for me to move. And now what I do is I say I had one for sale, and I say you hook it. Like I got actually a gas oven, and I put my listing will deliver, but you hook up. And so it's gonna take a very long time to sell something like that because a lot of people don't have the ability to hook them up. The reason for that is because having the fittings. So if you don't already have a bunch of different fittings for the gas lines, you may have to run it to Home Depot. So this requires a lot of time. So if you're in an area with a lot of gas dryers, then it's worth it for you to have like fittings and keep a stock of fittings. If not, just be prepared to run to Home Depot and buy a dryer kit for the fittings. You also want to make sure you use the right type of they call it pipe dope or tape. That's you can't use the same one for water. It's a special one just for gas. So that's how you want to do that. But if you're not sure what you're doing, it's a huge liability, man. Huge. One time I replaced a gas dryer. This thing had me so nervous. It was in this old lady's house. I mean, she was old. Like she was so old. Her house, that she didn't have a TV in her house at all. Like and everything. Like I felt like I stepped back in my childhood. Like everything was like preserved. It was amazing. But her house was so old. The gas dryer was in the bedroom. And it had like carpet. It was the worst. It was like now I look at it, I probably wouldn't have done it. I'll probably say I can't. But I can't help but think, man. Like and I even called the son arranged the whole thing. I even told him like the concerns and stuff because like it was something. There's a leak in there. Like I said, I told the guy. Make sure I texted to him too. I said, I highly recommend a carbon monoxide detector in that bedroom because there's a gas line in the bedroom where you're sleeping. So, yeah, so there's a little bit of liability risk with gas and stuff, but especially if the vents clogged or something, it's in your bedroom, man. Like I don't know, like. It's cool with laundry rooms that have like the hot water heater in there because there's a vent there for the hot water, the gas to come, for gas hot water heaters and stuff. But oof, man, that was crazy. So That's how I answered that, and I lost my train of thought. So what are we doing now? Let's fix this wiring before we dive into the door switch. So let's have a quick lesson on wiring. Can anybody tell me what's wrong with this picture? Anyone tell me what's wrong with this picture? I'll leave this here for a few minutes. Class pop quiz. What is wrong with this picture? Now, the issue isn't deadly though, so not a big deal, but it's not right. So while I get the right drill bits, somebody give me an answer. What was wrong with that picture? You need to look at it again, let me know. All right, Crystal, hang on. I'll get the answer in a minute. Extra credit. The right answer gets a extra credit for the class. The wire is loose on the left. Oh, that's tight. That's tight. But that's something to look out for, though. I don't know. I don't know if this is projecting a mirror image, so I don't know if your left is the same left I'm looking at, but either one. So we're talking about these wires right here. Another close-up. Show you as close as I can. What is wrong with this picture? So I'm gonna get some chance to answer that. While I do that, while y'all are thinking about it, I'm gonna put the dryer duct screws back. Because again, before you move on, you want to put things back. Because I am guilty of forgetting to put those screws on, delivering a machine, and the guy said it won't dry, and I opened it up. Oh no, I put the screws on. What is wrong with that picture? All right, so let's see what we got. All right, somebody got the right answer. The white wire, the neutral. Yep. Yep, everybody got it. Thanks, son. So everybody got the answer. So we got the right answer out there. Yes. So this is basically being set up as if this is a 3-prong cord, right? So it's not really wrong, but it's not right. So the 4-prong cord, which is this here, is the newer regulations, right? So newer, you probably wouldn't see too many new homes with the 3-prong. You shouldn't anyway. This is the new regulation for the 4-prong because it provides a neutral. So now you got this green wire that's been on a neutral. So this is set up like a 3-prong. So basically, this white wire needs to be taken off, put here in the middle. And you can see the white wire needs to be taken off, put in the middle. This green wire is now the new ground wire, and it goes to the frame. So you basically switch them out, and that's what you do for 4 prongs. If this was a 3-prong wire, then this setup would be fine. There wouldn't be a white wire on here for a 3-prong setup. So A's for everybody. Extra credit for everybody. Extra 10-minute recess at playtime. All right. Guys, close the doors. You let flies in, please. Tonio, close the door, please. Because I'm a chunky boy. Oh, yeah, you got your pajamas on too, huh? Tell Mommy that we ate a lot of candy. Okay, make sure you watch some educational. Sorry, guys, I have to do some parenting. SpongeBob is not educational. Change the channel, please. Okay. Mom's gone. I got the kids, so I'm multitasking here. I don't know why I'm taking all of them off. Autopilot. All right, so before, and this is going to be after, so I'm going to show you guys a close-up. And I've got videos on how to change the wire. If you look on my channel, there's a search button on there, how to change, under my channel, how to change 3 to 4, 4 to 3. So, reminiscing of doing this wrong. See, people will tell you about their victories, but I'll tell you about their defeats. So, when I was a young lad in the business, I wired one of these wrong.
Let me put on something educational.
Tell me I said to put something educational. I'm coming in there.
I did it.
Tonio! I'm working. Come again. Close my door, please. You letting flies in. Close the door, man. All right, so. All right, so this is the correct way to install your 4-prong. So as you can see, I moved this white wire here, and the green wire is now the new ground wire. Also, I loosened these and turned them outwards, so that way, if they ever get loose or whatever, they're not touching anything. You don't want them to touch. So you always want to be aware of that too, because sometimes people will tighten these, and these things will be so close together, they can touch, and that can cause problems too. So back to my story before I was interrupted by children. I was a young lad. I had wired a dryer wrong, and I don't know what I did, but it was wired in a way that the dryer started smoking out the back, and I lost the sale. I went to go fix it, and I said, "No, I don't trust the machine now. No, I'm not. You know, so she didn't trust my work, and good, you know, can't blame her." So I'm going to clean this off real quick. I'll be right back. I usually bust out the shop vac, but I'm just going to sweep it off. Real quick, easy breezy. So now, before you put it back together, just double check your work. Don't forget the like button, guys. Appreciate it. Any donations appreciated also. An appreciation for what you see. So everything's plugged in. We're good. Screws are back into place. All right. Let's close her up. And next, I'll show you how to take the front off so we can access that switch. So we're going to access the switch. So at this point, I'm going to change the switch. I'm looking at the top. I think the top needs to be painted, so I'm going to paint the top. So while I'm putting this back together, I'll talk to you guys about my do not service list of companies typically that I don't, commercial places that I don't service. I posted a picture of a delivery I did. Actually, this when I got back, came from a school. And to save money, businesses like to use residential machines. I've delivered washers to Korean barbecue places. They wash their towels in, their napkins. I've had a long partnership with a long term customer with a dog place. And that experience taught me something about those businesses. So, my do not service customers. I do not recommend you sell washers and dryers. You can go fix them. Even that can be a pain, but do not service washers and dryers of animal pet places like pet hotels or neutering. None of those places. The reasons, from based off my experience, I think you shouldn't. Let me say that. The reason is dog hair, animal hair, mostly dog hair though. The dog hair clogs up dryers where basically that thing needs to be cleaned out. Like I had one. This was so bad. I mean, she was a great customer, man, but I had to tell her I can't service her no more, unfortunately. I got to a point where, I tried my best to not get to that point, but I even gave her a extra dryer to keep there. So when her dryer goes, she has another one because they got to keep running. Like there's no, I'll be there next week. The business got to keep, they have employees taking towels home and drying them. And so the dog hair will accumulate. I know it's by experience because I'll be there and then I'll get a call back in 3 months. I get there and the thing is like I can make a mattress out of the amount of dog hair that was accumulated in that dryer. Number one, fire hazard, and it just tears up the dryer, man. It tears it up. So I find myself always being called back to go there for that, man. And then you get there, you got all these barking dogs. It's super loud, and and you got especially have any type of allergies. So it was that. I had another pet place. It was the same issue, man. And then they have like a whole bunch of towels and sheets, and pet beds, which is the worst thing you can put in a wash machine. And so that would just tear up the washers. And a lot of their machines were donated to them by their customers. So, yeah. So that's what I say no to pet places. Restaurants. Depends if it's a small restaurant, yeah, maybe, but this one was a major chain I was a customer of, and it was it was good money. I mean, it's guaranteed money, but they were just constantly. It was always an issue, man. And if they're using residential machines, they're already cheap and don't want to spend money, So, yeah, but easy working conditions as far as the room is nice and big and open, so. Restaurants, man, because you got like a lot of food particles and stuff will clog up the washer pumps. The machine was super slimy and greasy. So like to this day, I use paper napkins, man, after reuse. Yeah. It's just the machine is slimy and greasy is from all the food buildup inside the machine. Just disgusting. So those places really need commercial quality machines, Another one is salons. Salons have been really the biggest pain, again, because of hair. So the hair clogs up the dryers, it clogs up the pumps, and then they're washing towels. So it's all this heavy duty usage from them using washing towels. So those are businesses that really need commercial machines. Even the old school stackles, I think, could kind of withstand their abuse a little bit, but they need like laundromat type of commercial quality machines. So don't forget let's keep the likes going, guys. Appreciate the likes. Feel free to donate, whatever. That'll be appreciated too. So yeah, that's my do not repair list so far. This one from a school. School isn't bad. A school is only towels. I would say across the line, though, all those businesses, one negative of all of them is employees. A lot of them are teenagers. And as you know, teenagers and appliances don't mix. So, yeah. So if you had to like target market homes with teenagers, man, you have more business than you can handle. They tear stuff up. All right, so the screen cover back on. Another thing I want to talk about is these covers. You see a lot of machines that don't have these covers, and these wires are exposed. So if this thing is in a laundry room and somebody reaches back there to drop something that fell and they touch one of these, 240 volts. If they touch both of them, 240, 120. Okay, so that's not big of a deal, but it's they'll give you a little shock, pinch. But 240 will stop your heart. So, um, I say that because now, if you can go on eBay or anywhere and just collect a bunch of these, and we go on service calls, this is an awesome upgrade item because it's a must have, right? Because if somebody this is a must have, this is a must, say hey, somebody sold you this without the cover, and this is dangerous. Especially if something gets back there and touches it. If something metal falls and it's spark and it can catch, it's all kind of hazards. So that door would be good. I think you probably buy them on eBay for maybe $5, maybe new they might be $10, and you could probably flip them for like 20 bucks, $25. Quick upsell. So that's easy money, but also you're taking care of your customer, and it's important. Or if you think customers being cheap, working into the price just to protect them. Like, hey, I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna include this. So. Running out of water. All right, so pound back. Can't walk and chew gum. You got any questions, man? Feel free to fire them off, guys and girls. I say guys a lot, but I mean everybody. It's a habit, but guys and gals. And another rule of thumb, if you have screws left over, take everything apart and try to find where they go. Worst thing you can do is like, it'll be all right. Don't do it. All right, so I've got a trick for taking this apart, taking the lid off. So typically you take a putty knife and there's two little tabs here and here. But what I do is pull from the back. See this right here, this little part, all the way back. Pull, push here, pull back here. Boom, look at that. Up. Yeah, no fighting with a putty knife, right? Pops right away. And let me sit y'all over here on top of the dryer. This is our lid switch. So I can actually test it to see if it's actually in the on position by doing a continuity test. Let's start off by disconnecting. So I'm find my screwdriver. So sometimes it's the most frustrating thing about fixing anything is looking for your tools that you just had. You slide this underneath each side. That's how I do it anyway. Sometimes it'll be a handle on there, but this one doesn't have it. Turn the voltmeter, continuity. Okay, no continuity. So even though it looks like it's broken the arm position, it is not. So I'll show you guys again for those who weren't here at the beginning of this the live chat here. One of our first checks is the door switch, and as you can see, it's stuck down, so it's broken. So you're supposed to click and move. It's not even moving at all. I don't know if you can see. Maybe a side view be easier. Yes, a better view. See, and so it looks like it's stuck in the arm position, but it's not. So, and testing with my voltmeter shows there's no continuity, which means the dryer thinks the door is open, so it won't start at all. So that's the problem with this dryer at this point. I haven't plugged it in yet though, but that's the problem. So that, and then our belt is good. So let's change the door switch. So this is now Whirlpool dryer door switch repair. And let me show you. Let me get my new door switch. Be right back. All right, guys. So another quick little tech tip. I gotta sit down. Getting old, man. Quick little tech tip. Oh, I got a question. Hang on. What's the difference between GE dryer timers and Whirlpool dryer timers? Well, all timers have a difference. This is a typical timer here. So this could be GE, this, I believe. So keep in mind, if you ever try to invent something, anybody that's ever tried to invent something will know this. You basically hire different companies to build different parts for your invention, right? So Whirlpool hires somebody to build a timer. They hire somebody probably for the wires. So you got all these different contractors that do different things, different ones that make the metal. And so basically all you do, Whirlpool basically does is assemble everything. So they take all these pieces that come to get shipped in, they assemble it, and boom, you have a Whirlpool dryer, GE dryer. That's just how things work, manufacturing works. So whoever, the particular company that makes these, Invent Systems or something like that, it says on there. These are unique. So these are unique to Whirlpool. So this timer is unique. But a lot of timers looks like this. This one's a hot mess, but with all these wires. But as far as look past the wires, and this is how most dryer timers look. So and I assume this is a company. The stickers usually look the same. So I guess I have a monopoly on making dryer timers. But with GE though, I do believe now you say that GE may make their own timers or have a different company, because I know there's a lot of unique issues with GE timers, such as for some reason GE likes to use plastic on everything, and so the boards is plastic. Matter of fact, you're sitting on a GE dryer, so that's a hot point by GE. And everything behind this board, this timer right here, is mounted to plastic. That's mounted to plastic, which is a horrible idea, man, because they always break, and it's about $100 to replace this whole board just because the plastic tab broke. So, hope that answers that question. Would you prefer more service calls or flipping? I always ask myself that question. Um, some days when flipping is a pain, I prefer service calls. When service calls are a pain, I prefer flipping. But the best answer is both. You got to have both in your arsenal, because you'll have a slow season on one or the other. And I say season, I don't mean like months, but usually like weeks or something like that. Like there'll be a slow week out of the year, or let's case in point, something crazy happens like COVID, where I thought my repair business was going to drop off because people probably didn't want you in their house, and that wasn't true for a few weeks. But the flipping business took off. People were at home more, and so they were breaking their washers and dryers, so they needed them fixed. And so, as long as you came in masked up, with a mask, and you were clean, you were like that probably what kept me busy, because I advertised that I wore a mask. In my advertisement, I had a picture of a mask. My website, I had a picture of a mask on, because I think that's people's biggest fear, and they want to be polite, because it's hard to ask somebody, and people will say, "Hey, by the way, you don't mind wearing a mask, do you?" They say it real nicely, because they want you to still come and fix their machine. But and I get it, because I'm on this Facebook group and I learn a lot about people in my industry, man. And a lot of it is sad. And a lot of those guys are anti-mask, and well, they ain't wearing a mask, I'm not gonna wear a mask, and all this other stuff. And it's like, well, it's number one. First of all, I thought about wearing a mask before COVID, just because of all the dryer lint, man. You think about the concentrated amount, breathing in dryer lint all the time, um, but it makes the customer comfortable, and it's not a big deal to put a mask on your face. It's not that big of a deal. So it's not that big of a deal, man. Um, so yeah, so I do. So my answer is both. You gotta have both. You won't put your eggs in one basket, and it's funny because you think, yeah, you just do washer and dryers. That's all your eggs in one basket, but there's different um, roads to go within washers and dryers, right? So at one point I only sold dryers, no washers. I started off my career just selling flipping washers. I thought dryers were too hard. I thought, oh, it's all electric. I don't know electrical stuff. I gotta be an electrician, And I just did washers. Then I expanded my horizons to dryers and then sets, and it's so many different avenues you can focus on that will help keep you in business and put food on the table. So a little bit of both. I mean, repairs are nice too. And I think with me, like now I cherry pick. I'm at a point in my business where I deny a lot of business. And you don't want to do that when you first start, right? You don't do that. You take all comers because you're trying to build and you're trying to make money and you try to feed your family. But when now I'm at a point where I cherry pick. Like I'll have customers send me pictures. I don't recommend this for anybody. I'm just telling you how I am at this point, because the volume of business I'm doing and the time I have to actually do the things I need to do and spend time with my family. Um, so I have customers send me pictures of machines. I put in my voicemail that you must text me, because I don't have, I'm not talking on the phone all day, and hearing your life story, I just, I want people, that means you text app, you text me, say, hey, this is the issue. And I can ask a few questions. I can ask at my leisure. You think about it, when people call you, you got to stop what you're doing and talk to them, like right now, it'll be inconvenient, right? And then they leave a voicemail, and then you gotta spend hours on your day answering voicemails, and calling people. So it's a pain. And then you get to a point you think you need an assistant. But if you train people to just text, that helps. So I'll filter out that way. And when I do repairs, I mainly do medium to easy repairs. I'm at a point in my business now, I don't do like tub seals and all that stuff, because they're time consuming, warranty issues. So I'm just a lid switch, coupler type of guy. And then I flip. So if I do something hard, it'll be one of these, because I can fix it at my leisure. So that's just where I'm at in my business. It's a level. It's levels. It's levels. You know what I mean? So it's people I'm sure that's got my years experience that's still going hard. So hopefully I answered that question with that extended answer. How do I feel about aftermarket parts, Adamax? I love them. Hey, this is an aftermarket part. Here's the thing. So let's talk about the people who are anti-aftermarket parts. Oh, only do AOEM. OEM's the best. The aftermarket's junk. It's from China. All that stuff. Number one, everything's made in China, even the good stuff, the good and bad stuff. But isn't the aftermarket part the part you're replacing because it failed? Yeah. So there's no such thing as an unbreakable part because you're replacing that aftermarket, that OEM part. Excuse me, the OEM part. I mean, you're replacing that OEM part that failed. Isn't it the OEM part that failed in the first place? Hang on, I'll plug my laptop in. So people are like oh, only use OEM parts because aftermarket parts are junk. But it's the aftermarket part that failed you in the first place. I mean, I keep saying aftermarket. It's the OEM part that failed you in the first place. So, anyway, but there are bad aftermarket parts. Like there are bad companies that make cheap aftermarket parts, kind of trial and error. Your best bet is I answered this question my last video. Your best bet is Amazon for quality aftermarket parts because their vendors are vetted kind of by the public. Because if too many people get bad parts from them, Amazon will kick them. They won't be on Amazon. Now they'll thrive on eBay. eBay is good for used parts. You don't see too many used parts on Amazon because people complain too much. And I try to have used part business on Amazon, and you gotta have like 0 customer complaints. And with people buying the wrong parts and all that stuff, that's difficult to do. So just get the right aftermarket parts. I got videos on it. I got videos on how to buy parts through Sears Parts Direct, and if you look at my page, is a video on buying parts online, how to look up model numbers and all that stuff. What washer and dryer would you buy new for yourself? Well, okay, so this is a question, age-old question you get from customers a lot. It's getting hot out here. It's 2:00. Hottest point of the day. So a lot of customers will ask me that question for themselves. But for me, there's a couple of factors involved, right? So if price wasn't an issue, I will get a high-end Electrolux washer and dryer set, in which I actually do have a high-end Electrolux washer and dryer set that I actually pieced together over a 1-year time frame. Just getting in different machines that need a board and stuff. I refuse to buy parts for it, and so I'll just wait. I kept it in my shop, and I'll get one in from like a scrap guy or something, and I pieced it together and made a nice set. And it's very, very high end. Electrolux. Electrolux is a multinational company, and a lot of washer and dryer designs are based off Electrolux licensing. So Electrolux, because that combines to me quality and fanciness. It's a way of having a Bentley, and having a Ford or whatever, so that's reliable. So yeah. But another answer to that question is what I feel is the most dependable. I would say Speed Queen. Speed Queen doesn't have a lot of gadgets, as I said earlier. Doesn't have a lot of gadgets to it. And it's dependable, and they make they're slumming it with residential because their bread and butter is commercial, and so they're used to using heavy duty parts. They have and this goes back to the conversation about if you ever try to invent something, what contractors or businesses you would contract to buy your parts from. And Electrolux has a network, a very established network of good companies they buy, they get their parts from to put together their machines. So those are my answers. And somebody on a budget, I would just say old school Whirlpool, Kenmore Whirlpool direct drive, used, not new, used. Foil flex dryer vent should be brand because it's a fire hazard. I usually recommend rigid and semi-rigid aluminum vents. Florida, I gotta disagree with you on that one. Gotta disagree. And we had this conversation in my last live chat, and I'll grab my vents again and show you why. Okay, so this is my take. Both of these are good. Which one is most likely a fire hazard, right? Now, neither one are a big fire hazard, but if one of these two were like what's likely to catch a fire, it'll be this one. A lot of people disagree. Let me tell you why, though. Because with these, now they cost more. They're a pain in the neck to put on. But what happens with a fire, right? Lint gathers inside of these, right? So usually the lint gathers because of another issue, right? Like clogged up vent or the hoses. There's no flap on the outside vent, so that moisture air from the outside comes in and sticks to the side. And then you use a dryer to lint sticks and capillaries in there. But a lot of times it's when the dryer is pushed back against the wall and this gets pinched, right? So I'm not gonna pinch this one, but these gets pinched and crumble, right? And what happens when you pull the dryer back out? It's still crimped and crumbled, and that lint is gonna build up in there. Thus, the fire hazard, right? These will also crimp and crumble, but when you pull that dryer back out, guess what? It retakes its original form. And also, these are a little cheaper, and they also are more forgiving, easy to install, but they're more forgiving because when these are crimped, because when I go to the delivery and these are crimped, I gotta replace it. This, if it's crimped, I just stretch it out, I take it outside, clean it out, and it's good as new. It still can conduct air. So that's why these are, now they do make a hybrid of these, which might be the semi-rigid you may be talking about. They do make a hybrid of these that it's like this, but it's a lot more stiffer. But just because it can keep everything inside doesn't make it more or less of a fire hazard. It's usually more factors involved to actually for a dryer to catch fire. But this is usually not the reason. So, but yeah, but you're talking about like just being clogged and stuff. So that's my answer to that. Where can you get your parts if you ordered? Well, my new parts I get from Amazon. I get a lot of my parts from Amazon. I always check Sears. My local parts house, if I need it the same day. Here in Georgia, I have Fox Appliance parts or any Compass parts. But usually eBay. Like now, I'm about to install this. I'm showing you guys about how I'm gonna install this, and I'm gonna install this, but I'm gonna order 2 more. That's what I do. So if I use a part, I order 2 more, order extra. So that way, I always keep them in inventory. In a semi-rigid, man, I don't think unless it's like there's plenty of room to play and stretch them things, they're a pain. Oh yeah, the as far as the engineered appliance repair says, also dryer size gives you a full 4-inch diameter, and flex foil does not. Yeah, that's right. It's more flexible. That's why I hate when customers are like, "Hey, I'm gonna go buy a new vent hose." I say, "Hey, don't buy the expensive one." Because they think they spend more money that is a better quality, but nah, don't do that. Don't do it. Unless it's like straight, then that's worth it. But like in my own personal one, I got the flex. In my own personal dryer, I got flex. So. All right, so let's do this lid switch, guys. So now there are 2 types, right? This one is a 2-wire. This is a 3. It still works. So I always order the 3. It's better to have more than less. Now, why is there 3? The 3rd wire is for a light. So this dryer doesn't have a drum light. So that's what the 3rd wire is for. So it's no harm, no foul to install this part. So it doesn't have a drum light anyway. So that just won't be used. And the price difference isn't anything significant. So I just stock up with the 3-prong instead of having to guess 2 or 3-prong. Let's get the 3-prong. So let's take it off. Feel free to fire away any questions, man. I'm an open book, guys. You know how I do. Here's the old one. It's completely broken. Oh, look, it's trying to open up like a clam. Look at that. Oh, see, this is actually repairable. I'm not gonna do it though. See, it needs. So I can zip tie this bad boy. It'll work again. See, it busted open. See, they do the same thing with washer lid switches. They use the glue to seal it. So look at that. It's open. So I usually put a zip tie around these things. This one would be hard though. You can't really, it's easier to zip tie a washer lid switch than the dryer one. I'll probably have to go around this way with it, but it could possibly slip off. So I got enough lid switches. I'm gonna chuck this one. But if you're in a pinch, you're at a customer house, you can't find a part. Look at that. This is repairable. Our new Amazon special. Here are these two screws. Slide it in. See, now the nice part too about a trade-in that has a broken like door switch, I feel confident, especially because it was a school, and I was a bit concerned, especially that dryer or the lint behind the dryer. I was concerned that there's an air duct issue. So I'm glad that this dryer didn't have any blown fuses, because I was like, oh man, because you advise you to clean the air ducts, but sometimes they don't do it, you know. And I want that to be a warranty call. I have to go back and fix the dryer because the air ducts are bad. And sometimes that's a hard conversation because they think, "Oh no, it's the dryer." You know what I mean? So, Adam Walker, you are now an ATeam VIP. Appreciate the donation, brother. Your question is, how do you source machines? Are you looking to acquire a certain amount a day, or whether you can find wherever you can find? I've had different phases of that. To build quickly, depends on your inventory that you have. If you need like a bunch of inventory, then I usually search Craigslist. I search Facebook, and I usually type in bulk appliances, and places will pop up. So like here, there's a place in North Carolina that sells bulk appliances. There are places here, you just got to find them. You got to network. The best thing too sometimes if you go to your parts store, and not talking to repair guys, but if you see a guy with a machine on his back that looks like he's a flipper, they might know a spot. Or if you're driving on a road and a person got a trailer full of machines, sometimes they'll tell you spots that you can go to. So you kind of network locally. Because a lot of those places, and then there's a lot of places that will ship. There's a lot of places in New York that have bulk appliances. Michigan seems to be a hot spot for bulk appliances, and a lot of those places will ship, so you got to pay shipping. There's a website called B Stock Inventory, the letter B dash stock. If you get an account with them, I bought a load from Lowe's one time off of there. You just bid. You just bid for loads. There's scratch and dents on there, big time. I think that's a lot of people get their scratch and dent inventory. A lot of that on there, big time. But I enjoy. So, sorry, went out of water, man. Thirsty. So, these are the aspects of being stuff in bulk. You can either buy it from a bulk dealer, a warehouse that sells bulk appliances. You can something I forgot to talk about. You can buy it from a scrap guy, your local scrapper. So next time you take a load to the scrap yard, try to, even if you don't work there, they'll pass your car to somebody. We see somebody come up with washers and dryers. Or you see scrap guys. Like, but sometimes they can be a little nuisance, but because they'll but the scrap guys will find them, man. So they can bring something every day. You just gotta be careful. Like some have guys send you like pictures of what they got. Because sometimes they'll send you stuff that you might want to buy, but you feel guilty and feel like you have to buy it. So what are you doing? These kids, man, look at this guy.
Yeah.
He's in his pajamas and roller skates, and I don't know. He's not that big, so he stuffed some clothes inside to make himself look bigger. A blanket. You're gonna sweat out here, dude. It's like 80 degrees. Okay. So he stuffed his kids, man. I don't know. He's 7. So anyway, you have scrap guys, and the scrap guys will. You just gotta manage them, man. Cause they'll find a lot of stuff for you, but you don't want them to bring you everything they got. Unless you have an eBay store, then that helps because you're selling parts on eBay, used parts, and that you can take whatever. But you gotta give them a criteria because they'll bring you stuff every day, and then all of a sudden you run out of money because you got all this stuff, like especially projects that not easy fixes, and so you got all these projects laying around, and it's taking up space. And that's so I got a video on that too, man, on what know when to hold them, know when to fold them. So you got scrap guys, you've got the Lowe's drivers, the Lowe's/Home Depot appliance delivery guys, drivers. You see them out. You ever see a box truck delivering appliances? Give them your card. They'll sell you the trade-ins. They're not supposed to, but they will. They'll sell you the ones they remove. Pros and cons with that. Those guys, the machines are pristine. Like you buy a refrigerator, it still has ice in it. Like they're fresh out of a house, and they're nice because these people bought new machines, and so they most likely got the money to buy a new machine. So this one might be they'll be in good condition. The cons with that is they're buying a new machine, and if they got money to buy a new machine, they probably paid to have it looked at, and it could be a major issue. Or I mean, in this country, a lot of us, if something breaks, we just get a new one, and we don't have nobody to look at it. So that's the thing too. Sometimes the Lowe's driver. So we got bulk, Lowe's driver, scrapper. So Facebook allows you to cherry pick. So Facebook is the best of all of those because it allows you to cherry pick and say, okay, I want that one. You send a message and hopefully it's available. The problem now, the cons with that is you have to, if they say they have it's available, you got to get it right away. There is no, I'll come get it tomorrow at 12. No, because don't people want to get rid of this stuff. And so even they tell you, yeah, come get it, somebody say, I'll come get it right now, and they'll come grab it. So I also got that on I have a video I have a live video of me buying stuff on Facebook, and I give you tips on how to place your ad, the best way to respond, so they respond to you because they're getting 20, 30 people that's bombarding them with, is it available? Is it available? Is it available? And there's a way to stand out in which, I've had people say, oh, because of the way you said your message, I decided that you were the guy to have it. So check that video out too. So the thumbnail shows a screen of Facebook with me in a little window. So let's go to, hopefully that answers your question, brother. Appreciate you, Adam. ATeam certified. So let's go ahead and get back to this lid switch. And this was the broke one. See, this is what happens, man. You lay something down, and it disappears into a black hole somewhere, and reappears in another universe. Oh, it's actually on the machine. Duh, I screwed it on. Okay, so. All right, so now you see it's the new switch, and we're just gonna plug her in. Just gonna plug her in. And plug her in, see if it works. If so, I'm gonna take a bit of a shortcut and not run it so I can show you guys how I paint these things. So next is I'm gonna show you the painting process. And as you can see, the reason why I'm painting it, see it's worn right here. See all these scratches and stuff. So we're gonna sand that down and quick and easy paint job. So let's put our dryer vent screws back. So when you put these screws back, yeah, close up. Something that could be a pain is this screw drops down in there when you try to screw it back in. That means you have to take the back off and you have to take the whole air duct off all over again. So what I usually do is I usually go like this to screw it in, or better yet, you can stuff something in there temporarily. It's like a little shirt, whatever. Boom. Because man, that is not. That will have you saying some words you don't want to say. Hey, you cursing. And so also another hack I'll show you guys is I got a million of these things, right? But if you don't want to get it, the customer want to see that, right? You want to deliver it with that rust at the bottom, right? So now that comes from because they had a lot of lint built up down there at the bottom, and so all that moisture just gathered right there and created a rust. But what you can do is take a wire brush and have your mask on, which I don't have one on because I'm talking. I'm gonna get all heavy duty on y'all. Use this one, best thing I can find. But you can use like a little hand wire brush. You like all crazy like I'm about to go. So we are going outside on the ground to do this in the fresh air. All right, and don't forget to hit that like button. That helps with the YouTube algorithm. So because this is helpful information to you, this will help YouTube share with other people. There's a glare, so I can't really see. I can see. Okay, you can. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm going to replace it. All right, so since this is a live video, you see all my mistakes. I shouldn't have used the industrial brush. Look what happened. It was working good. It wore a hole in it. So you don't want to use an industrial brush like I just did. But so I'm going to replace this. I got a million of these anyway. So that's right. I am not perfect. No matter how experienced you have, perfection eludes all of us. All right, so instead of trying to hunting for a new one right now, I'm just going to put this back just for now. But I am going to replace it just for time's sake of this video. Let's turn her on. And you definitely want to use a hand brush on that one. Adam, if you're still there, did I answer your question? Awesome, Adam. You the man. And this is definitely a work in progress as far as my garage. The wife still thinks we can use it to store Christmas trees and stuff and kids' toys. Still working on cleaning it out. I have more room. I got some nice shelving. I was running some eBay price on eBay through here, and I've cut back on that. And it's on. It's running. Running. So I wish I had like the video editing skills. I could put like that Black Eyed Peas song. Running. So what I do next is I usually like on 60 or any whole number. You see that? Yes. Any whole number, and I let it run. If it goes like for 10 minutes, the timer pretty much works. And if it's hot, we're good. You can check temperature, but usually a dryer, if it's running, it's running. If it's hot, unless you have a bad heat regulator. But usually within 10 minutes, it'll blow out, and if the heat regulator is bad, the high limit thermal fuse will trigger. So we're gonna let that run. In the meanwhile, we're gonna set up and get ready to paint. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do paint. And don't forget that like button, smash, destroy, so we can share this knowledge with everybody. Let's get to painting. So let me show you what I use for painting. Sanding. This little doohickey right here. You can always use your hand too. It's not that big of a deal. So I got two. This is more of a fine one. This is 120. This is 60. So the lower the number, the more coarse it is. So I could go with the. It's not that bad. Real bad rust is good though. So. Let's test that. Let's go with the course. I know we should do the more fine. Let's go with the course. Here, plugged in. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Appreciate any donations. Appreciate smashing a like button if you think this information is helpful. If I have not earned a like, feel free not to like. Hopefully I have. The whole point of this is to share my information with fellow technicians, with do-it-yourselfers that want to tackle their own machine, um, and people who are like, this is just a good way of feeding your family, man. Somebody just tired of the rat race and wants to earn some money, man. I ain't gonna get my mask for this, so be right back. Boom. You just smashed that like button while I was going? If not, let's do it right now. All right. Boom. All right, so we got it prepped, and the point isn't to remove the paint. The point is to try to smooth out the surface and remove any rust that you can remove, or any type of impurities. Something that might be on the paint that shouldn't be on there. Next thing I do is wipe the surface down. I use a dry rag. You don't use water, right? No water. And then I cover. Usually a towel works best. But I don't have a towel. I got a bunch of stuff I've pulled out of dryers throughout the year. So these things I use. And it's good to paint it with the dryer on because it's hot. And that paint just sticks better, settles better, and dries faster. So I like to paint it while it's running. So what I'm gonna use today, if you watch, I got a video too with me and my boys, my kids showing us at Home Depot picking paints. This is the paint of choice for me. Um, the best way is to use a paint gun. I do have a paint gun, but this is quick and easy. You don't worry about cleaning out a paint gun or anything like that. Uh, but it's the only one that makes an appliance paint also. But I prefer this because it's high gloss, and also the nozzles. Now these nozzles almost never get clogged. The regular paint cans, I have problems with clogged nozzles all the time. I've tried every trick in a book to prevent that, and this is just the way to go for me. Mask up because you don't have white hairs in your nostrils, right? Now paint evenly. Try to put it on evenly. You don't want to concentrate in one area and create drips. So nice and light, and then kind of go over it again twice. want to stay upwind. All right, I'm gonna overspray my laptop. So that was before, and that's after. Look how nice and white that finishes. So we let that set. Replace that. Gonna wipe down and be ready for sale. So this will conclude the video. So feel free to put in any questions you may have now. You let flies in the house, son. Close the door, please. All right, watch out. That's wet. The dryer. Kids. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment now. If not, you can always leave a message at the bottom of the video, and I'll comment at another time. I hope this was helpful to you guys. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. Hope this was helpful, informative. Hope I got all the questions answered to the best of my ability. But this is a full from A to B refurbishing of a Whirlpool dryer. Don't forget to like, subscribe, so you get notifications on my next live video. Next live video will be on a wash machine, I'm sure. And I guess I want to extend this longer than I need to. So I'll see you next video. And thank you for being a part of ATeam Appliance. Yes.